enough?
I mean, probably not.
7.
Okay, welcome to the 7th episode of TCO. That's a very... Let's redo that intro. Hello everybody, welcome to the 7th episode of TCO. We're going to be talking about something very important and very awesome today. What is that, Josiah?
The meaning of life.
Whoa!
Man, this show is getting deep, man.
I'm your host, Jacob. As I already said, this is the other host, Josiah.
That's good, it's almost right.
How do you say it?
Josiah.
Josiah.
You're getting better every time you say
Okay.
it.
You got something in your beard, dude. A little bit of dandruff or something.
Is it 720p clear or 1080 clear?
Oh, it's...
Because we record this in 720, so...
I don't know, dude. Someone commented on like a string on my shirt one time, and I don't know what they can see and what they can't.
Man, our fan is so critical.
That was actually a different fan.
So anyway, just to be clear here, we're going to be speaking as if Christianity wasn't the one true religion.
Shut up.
And we didn't already know that
Stop.
living for the Christian God of the Bible is the absolute true meaning of life. So we're going to be speaking as if we didn't know that for the sake of discussion.
That's not what we're doing at all.
That is what we're going to do.
Okay.
Are we not going to talk as if...
I mean, we're going to talk, but we're going to talk about everything. Also, we're sponsored by Jolly Ranchers. Remember that? Go buy Jolly Ranchers. They're fruity and bad for your teeth.
Are they?
Pretty sure.
You just suck on them. You don't have to buy them.
Yeah, but it's just like sugar, just like going into your teeth and stuff.
Sugar's not this hard. Pretty sure it's high fructose corn syrup. And that's a vegetable, so...
we can check right now, on air.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to edit this out now.
No, we're not editing it out.
Darn! He always gets me with that.
11 grams of sugar in 3 pieces. That's a lot of sugar, dude.
To each his own.
It's not on camera. Okay, so, let's just start off. The question is really the purpose of life, I think, not the meaning. Right? Because the meaning, it's hard. Like, if you ask the meaning, then you're just trying to, like, define life. Right?
I guess. Yeah, I guess meaning is a little more abstract than purpose. So, yeah, let's go with purpose.
Okay. So, I got the definition of purpose, and we're going to be talking about both definitions. The reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. And... have as one's intention or objective. Both of those are separate, and we're going to be talking about both of them because they're both pretty important, and everyone views their purpose of life as one or both of those ways. Right?
Yeah. What was the second one?
Have as one's intention or objective. Like your goals in life or whatever is your purpose, as opposed to a wider scale.
Okay, so let's come at this like we didn't know anything, like we're aliens just looking at Earth from afar. Be like, huh, what are these humans, supposed to be doing down there? Obviously, giving birth.
Is it, though?
I mean, I'm just saying if aliens were just looking at us, obviously they're looking at us, so they have interstellar technology.
Right.
So they're obviously way more advanced. They might think of us as just kind of like animals, like highly advanced animals.
Well,
you're like, whoa, those animals, they have really got their reproduction down.
Here's the thing. If aliens are looking down on us and they're like, what is these guys' purpose? Then those aliens themselves must have found out their own purpose and then been like, okay, what's the purpose of these guys now? Right?
Not necessarily. They could be still figuring things out, They could be in a weird phase.
But if they were...
in their existence.
They're not. They're like still in puberty and not quite comfortable with who they are yet.
I mean, as a species, yeah.
I mean, that's where we are, though, right? So like, we wouldn't go up to other species on other planets, right? Like, if we suddenly got like traveled to other galaxies and stuff and went to other planets, we wouldn't be like, what's these guys' purpose?
No.
Because we don't know our own.
No. See, it's two different. It's apples and oranges here. I'm talking about they would be so advanced that they're looking at us as like a lower life form. The same way we look at something like an ant.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel bad walking across the grass and killing thousands of ants? Or
Well,
hundreds?
I'm pretty sure you don't step on thousands or hundreds of ants as you walk
Okay,
across
well, do you feel any remorse killing a bug?
Okay, I see what you're saying. So
That's
like,
because it's a lower life form.
yeah, we like.
But you can look at that and be like, huh, those ants, they seem to only purpose be to, feed the queen and stuff.
But
Bring
when we
food
look
to
at
their
them,
colony.
we look at animals and stuff, and we're like, okay, what is their purpose in the environment? Like everyone's like mosquitoes. Like everyone's like, oh, mosquitoes suck. They don't do anything. They just annoy you all the time. But they have a purpose in the environment, right?
What? What do they do?
I have no idea.
Annoy me?
But okay, maybe spiders is a better example because people don't like spiders, but spiders are like.
Spiders are pretty legit. I love spiders.
We're now sponsored by spiders.
But no, like an aunt or an uncle. But no, like an ant or something. You can look at it and be like, whoa. Well, yeah, of course, in your environment. How else would you look at it?
I mean, I guess that makes sense. But like, we look at it and it's their environment. Like, what are they doing for us, right?
No. I mean, like if you go to the rainforest or some remote part of the world where no people live, and you
Right.
look at the living organisms there, they're doing something.
Right.
They have some kind of purpose. Or like take like the rainforest. There's like hundreds of, there's millions of living things in there
Mm-hmm.
that aren't affecting humans like directly, but they each
Dude,
have
you
like a
biting that Jolly Rancher is making my teeth hurt. Just the sound of it. Ugh. Okay. Anyways.
But you get what I'm saying, right? Like okay,
Uh-huh.
like you can look at an ant colony.
Stop it.
You can look at an ant colony in a rainforest, and you can see like, wow, they're all just living to, help their queen
Right.
or what have you.
Right. And so, do we define that as their purpose to help their queen?
Well, why wouldn't you?
I mean, because it goes. Eventually, we're going to reach the larger scale where it's like, well, what is the purpose of doing this for the queen?
Oh. Well, the queen only the queen has children, if I'm not mistaken.
We talked about that, I think.
Well, we talked about the evolutionary purpose
Yeah.
of life. So the queen gives birth. Come back to my first point: to have babies.
Right. Okay. So, the evolutionary purpose is to reproduce, right? That's just
Right.
as simple, to keep the species alive and to reproduce. But
Get your genetics out there.
your genetics is
Yeah.
your genes.
Get my genes into the world.
Yeah. Your blue
Also coming
genes.
soon, TCO genes. They'll be coming into the world.
Yeah.
Just kidding, they won't.
Okay. Anyways, so the evolutionary purpose is to reproduce and to continue your species like to live
Furtherance.
forever, quote unquote, as long as you can.
At least your genes.
But so you my jeans have holes in them, dude. Every single pair. So you reproduce, and then those people reproduce, and they reproduce, and they reproduce, and eventually it's like, okay, well, what is the purpose of reproducing if your only purpose is to reproduce in order to reproduce, 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 in order to reproduce?
Why would you say it that many times?
I was gonna keep going until you responded because it's.
I was wondering if you were gonna say it like a certain number of times, and then that number was gonna have some sort of meaning or something.
Oh no, I didn't put that much thought into it.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is awkward now. But anyway, we got, yeah. So you're saying what is the purpose of just keeping?
Right, isn't that the question, the purpose of life? If our purpose is...
Why can't the purpose just be to reproduce?
Because
why does there have to be more to it than that?
Because it just creates this cycle of you just keep reproducing forever with no end goal, right?
That is the end goal.
Is to reproduce.
Or the goal isn't an end. It's just a cycle.
Okay,
the
that's
cycle is the
interesting.
goal. I mean, why does there need to be more than that?
So it's like an ongoing... Interesting.
It's like an ongoing goal. It's like, I don't know. I thought I was
It's like an ongoing goal.
I thought I was about to have a great example, but then there wasn't anything there.
I have an example actually. Getting better at something, you have an ongoing goal, like perfecting something. You will never reach actual perfection, but your goal is to, you know what I mean?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
like
example. Yeah, like a woodworker.
Yeah.
Constantly woodworking.
Mm-hmm.
Just chiseling away like our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
All right. So, does the evolutionary purpose of life change if we assume there is no afterlife? Not really. If you I didn't even think about the idea that it's just an ongoing goal like that. If there's an ongoing goal, then no, it doesn't matter. Then the evolutionary purpose is just our purpose.
Yeah, because
right?
if you think about it, if humanity had like a definitive goal that wasn't ongoing, then what would happen when you got there?
Right.
Then you just cease to exist?
I mean,
there would be no purpose for existence? If our goal was like to, I don't know, like get to Mars or something, well, that's happening in a few years. So, like if that was our definitive goal and everyone knew it, then we would just get there and then we would just all commit suicide, I guess.
Right, but that gets into the area of where people create their own goals. And I have a large section on that. So what I have here is, I think I have like 10 different purposes that people create for themselves. So, there's a difference between an objective purpose of life and a subjective. Most people's subjective one is the one that like they have for themselves, like, okay, my purpose is to do this in my life or to do that in my life and stuff.
Joining a sweet metal band.
Right. So, okay, so we've got, what if the question is not the purpose of life, but rather the purpose of my life? That's basically how people twist it, and that's how people, live their lives, basically. At that point, is the whole purpose to achieve dreams, goals, etc. Is that any different from hedonism if we're just
living for yourself?
Living to achieve goals and stuff.
That are strictly personal?
I mean, not strictly personal.
Well, that's what hedonism
but like
is.
Joining a sweet metal band.
Well, that is a personal goal. That's strictly personal.
Okay, I guess.
Who else is that affecting if you join?
Well, people who want to listen to the sweet metal band. They want to hear my sweet bass riffs.
Yeah, but that's not your goal.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, okay.
Like, there's symptoms that are beneficial to other people, but...
Right.
Your motivation is strictly to further your own goals. For your own benefit.
Right. So is there anything wrong with that? Just living your life to achieve your goals like that? Your dreams or whatever? If that's like your subjective purpose?
Well, of course the answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody can really tell you otherwise.
Right.
Like with any sort of concrete authority or anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. I guess yeah, but so, yeah, it's okay to do that, but there are reasons that you could use to convince somebody to not do that, to not live strictly for themselves.
Is that would you say that's a good purpose?
Define good.
Like, would you say, okay, that's reasonable, they can live their life to do that?
To just live strictly for themselves?
Sure.
If they're smart enough, then yes. Not like an idiot just living for himself.
What do you mean by that?
Well, if
they're actually going to achieve it?
Well, no. Well, no, not necessarily, because how could you know that?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. But what I'm saying is, you can, like, if you're smart enough of a person, you'll realize that it is detrimental to yourself to never do anything for other people. Even if you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
You'll eventually alienate a lot of people doing that.
Right.
So, yeah, if you're smart enough to realize that, then it's okay.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Like, if a dumb person, like a dumb hedonist,
mm-hmm.
is just going to come off as a total scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
But a smart hedonist will come off like a, semi-rounded person. See what I'm saying?
But at that point, are they still a hedonist?
Well, yeah, of course. It depends on your motivation.
Oh, okay. That's sure.
Not your actual actions, but another actor judging another person, they can only judge their actions, not their motivations, because you can't tell.
Right.
So there's lots of hedonists out there that you just don't know.
There's some like religious aspects to that, where like specifically in Christianity, some people will be like, yeah, but it's all about your motivation if you want to do these things that the Bible tells you and stuff. And then it's like, well, I want to go to heaven, so I'll do that. I'll do all these good actions to go to heaven. Is that hedonistic?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright. What about leaving a legacy? Many of us want to live a big showy life and to leave something behind that will potentially be remembered forever. Is this important? If it's only important on a personal level, is it a selfish thing to do, just like the hedonism? Is there anything wrong with being selfish in a situation like this if it's a very high reward situation? High reward, like you being remembered forever, is pretty high reward, I think.
Well, I don't know about that one. Because, I could just build a statue of myself.
Right.
And nothing's going to last forever.
Potentially.
Steve Jobs, is Apple going to be around forever?
No, but his innovations had an impact on the lives of so many people that he'll
probably be in history books and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But do you think that's important to him now? Do you think
now that he's dead?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think people think about their legacy because it gives them a purpose.
Right.
Something to live for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, in the back of their mind they realize this is worthless. My legacy is absolutely worthless to me. Because my legacy only exists after I'm gone. And after I'm gone, there's nothing. You know what I mean?
Right. But
you don't have access to the benefits of your legacy.
So you're saying that the legacy purpose is not a very good one?
Right. Well, it comes down to if that is going to motivate you to do something good, air quotes, then I guess it's a net good.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're just talking about the purpose of life and stuff, no, that's not.
That's
definitely not it.
Okay. That's not a very good subjective purpose for people.
Right.
Okay.
Who knows? Maybe we'll enter an age where technology is a bad thing, and everyone lives on farms, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's Steve Jobs. He was a real d-bag for making all that technology."
Dude, you can't say that on there.
What? Oh! But we can use racial slurs.
There's a difference, I think.
Get out of here.
We actually got some hate for that, by the way. If you hated us for using the N-word on air, hate some more.
Yeah. I love all races, though.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
Not inherently, but I love certain people of all different races.
Well, yeah. Okay, other people think the purpose of life is to be kind to other people, help each other out, be a good person, etc. While we can all probably agree it's important, is it truly a purpose? Maybe just acting as a motivation for people to continue living their life, and thus it is their purpose, it's their subjective purpose. Because some people see all the negative in the world, and they're like, look, I want to be really nice and help other people out and stuff, and do all that. Is that a solid purpose, or does it not matter because once you're gone, you didn't do anything anyways?
That's another tough one. Because it is good to do good stuff.
Right.
But then again, how can we, how can we definitively say that's the purpose of life?
it's their subjective purpose of life. What I'm asking you is that a good one to follow?
Oh, yeah, I don't see why not.
I mean, what's the difference between that one and the legacy, which you say the legacy is not a good one to follow?
No, that's not what I said.
Yeah, it is. That's
No,
exactly what you said.
I said it's like if that's what your motivation is to do, if that's what you need to motivate you to do something good, then yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, just recognize that that's not a very good, it's not a solid motivation.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? But yeah, just like thinking your purpose is to just do good. Yeah, that's a fine motive, I guess.
Is that a fine way to like live your entire life? Like, oh, I'm continuing to live my life because I want to be good and help people out and stuff.
Like join the Peace Corps and stuff?
Or sure.
Or donate all your money and just like live like a homeless person?
Sure.
Why would you want to do that? Why don't you just get a house?
You want to be a good person.
Yeah, see, so where does that end?
Right.
Like...
It's subjective where it ends. They're like, oh, I'm a good enough person. Some people, like, it's like when you're driving by the highway and you see, or rather on the access roads or whatever, and you see those guys on the corner and they're like, give me money. Everyone, like, gives a certain amount of money to certain people to make themselves feel better or something, and some people are like, I don't need to give to him,
Or food.
Right.
It's
all, like, personal how much good you need to do to make yourself feel better, and so it's kind of a selfish.
That's such crap, though.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's like, how do you come up with those numbers? It's just based on your own gut.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I mean, if you just go by your, see, you can't say that because some people's gut is like totally off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can't just say like however I feel, like whatever I feel to do is the right thing to do. Well then, what if you feel like murdering somebody? Is that okay?
Didn't we do an episode on morality already?
Yeah, we did.
So the question is doing good though. Like murder is, I think it's kind of objectively wrong.
Is it?
Shut up, dude. Let's assume that murder is objectively wrong.
Okay. Right. But you were saying that like you can just go off your feelings.
Right.
On what is good and what isn't.
So then that is not a very good purpose either then. If your purpose
you should murder people.
Shut up. If your purpose is to do good, you're saying that purpose isn't a very good...
I'm just saying because we can't define or measure the good, then it's not a good measuring stick. You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
I mean, I like the concept. Like, hey, we should all try to, like, optimize how much good we can do. Like, that's a good idea.
But in practice, it's not very good.
But in practice, it's not. It's like, it doesn't work out very well.
Okay. That's a good answer. Some people seek to become the most perfect version of themselves in their life, and that is their purpose for living. Is that reasonable?
Absolutely not.
Explain?
Well, it's sort of like, that's another thing, like, you'd have to define for yourself what that means.
Right.
For you. Which is going to be different than what I decide. Maybe that for me means being in the best shape possible.
Right.
But maybe for you that means helping as many people out as you can. And then that would be optimizing your life, to be perfect or whatever. That's the best you can be by doing the most good. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So eventually somebody's going to be at cross purposes with each other.
But I mean, since it's all relative to yourself because it's all your own personal purpose, then like humanity as a whole has no objective purpose as we're talking about here. And so like if the two paths cross, it doesn't matter. It's just like the two individual people, their purpose, they've done what they needed to. You know what I'm saying?
No, could you explain that again?
They you have two. You were saying two people. They have their paths, their purposes.
To perfection.
They have their paths crossed or whatever, right?
Right.
And
Their path to perfection puts them at odds with each other.
right. And so, but does it actually matter if they're at odds with each other? Because we're not talking about a purpose as a whole for humanity, but rather a singularity, not singularity, a singular,
A subjective.
a singular, yeah, a subjective person's purpose.
So you're saying it doesn't matter if our purpose is only individually specific, because then everyone can just go after their own purpose,
Right.
and then just may the best man win?
Right.
I mean, that's essentially what we have right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And is there anything wrong with that?
Is there anything wrong with that? I mean, no, I guess.
Is it reasonable?
Yeah, I would say so.
So far, that's the only one that we found that we would say is a reasonable purpose for living.
Yeah, we each have our own individual purposes, and you just gotta define that for yourself.
It's not, no, but like perfecting yourself.
Oh yeah, we each have our own idea of what our perfect self should be,
Right.
and you just go after that no matter what,
Right.
even if it means murdering people. Just at that point, may the best man win.
Sure. Sure.
That's essentially, that's exactly how things
If
work.
that's
right
if
now.
that's what your convictions are saying, dude, come on now, you can't do that. Actually, I should probably turn mine down too. Okay. Some people say happiness is the purpose of life, to seek happiness and do things that make you happy. It's basically hedonism, but if you're helping other people out and stuff and that makes you happy, is that still hedonism? Is seeking happiness a good purpose in life?
Is seeking happiness a good purpose in life? Not objectively.
Okay. Obviously, these are all subjective.
Okay, well, not across the board.
What do you mean?
Well, what I mean is, like, a psychopath is probably going to be pretty happy killing people.
Right?
So, and for the purpose of this debate, murder is objectively wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't say that across the board.
That's
So
fair.
I don't know how you fit that in to saying, like, do what makes you happy.
Right.
And that's your purpose, is to optimize your happiness or to maximize your happiness.
So, maximizing your happiness is not a good purpose for living, because many people, I think, do live that way. It's just like, oh, I'm just going to do what's going to make me most happy in the end, right?
No, I think most people act to minimize their despair,
Okay.
which is sort of the same thing, I guess.
Right.
But there's some key differences there.
It's two.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, you don't try to minimize your despair, right? You want to be happy. You don't want to be average. You don't want to be, like, exactly okay with everything.
Well, no, but it's both.
Mhm.
It's like maximize your happiness, minimize your despair.
Right, so the goal is to maximize your happiness.
Yeah, I guess those are the same thing basically.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So yeah, that's a good purpose then, is to maximize your happiness? Because that's
Well,
what a
like-
lot of people do nowadays. Come on, dude.
Oh man, that's tough because I mean we're talking subjectively, right? Only.
Mhm.
So then yes, that would be good. Just as long as you're not a psychopath.
Okay,
You don't get like joy from like drilling into people's kneecaps or something.
right. It's freaking brutal, dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if that's maximizing your happiness, then yeah, you can't just do that.
Right, okay, sort of ironically, I was thinking about this, if someone were to be 100% happy, like they have everything in life that they want and they're 100% happy, that person actually probably wouldn't question what the meaning of life was in the first place. Right?
Why? Yeah, why would they?
Exactly. It's just sort of ironic that we're talking about this, and then it's like if they're 100% happy, then they would have no reason to stop and be like, man, what's the meaning of life?
So you're saying we're not 100% happy?
Right.
Huh. That's true. Maybe. Or is it the other way around, and we're not 100% happy because we're questioning our own existence?
Whoa.
Maybe we should just stop right now and just be happy.
Okay, maybe our goal is to end all suffering, to create a utopia and just thrive forever through our evolutionary purpose. This goes along with being kind to other people. It's the idea to leave the world a better place than you found it.
Whoa, start over?
Maybe our goal is to end all suffering, to create a utopia and just thrive forever through our evolutionary purpose. This goes along with being kind to other people, and it's the idea to leave the world a better place than you found it.
I don't see how any of those three things are connected.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your, like, imagine a utopia. What does a utopia consist of?
Okay, everyone, white robes.
Shut up.
First of all.
Okay.
Okay, utopia for me,
Everyone would be happy, right?
no, there'd be a small population of people that aren't.
Then it wouldn't be a utopia. Isn't a utopia a perfect place?
I mean, that depends. Utopia is a very vague term. Here's my idea of a utopia.
Okay.
This is like a real world. This is like a practical situation here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We get to a point with our technology where we can so optimize the Earth's resources that there's just an abundance of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like oil prices fall. Actually, we don't even need oil prices because we've got satellite solar panels orbiting the sun and transmitting that energy down to Earth.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And we've just got like just massive amounts of energy just being beamed down to us that we now are able to capture. Okay? And with that energy is so cheap that it becomes free. It's a public utility.
You're talking about like the physical stuff, but I'm talking about like the people. The people are the important part in the utopia, right?
Oh yeah, okay, the people. Okay, so this is what happened. Well, no, I mean, how you get to the utopia is a very important part of the utopia.
Well,
as
yeah.
well. But yeah, energy becomes so cheap that it just becomes a public utility. And basically everybody, this is how it starts. Everybody they ride their car. They don't need any energy. For their house, no energy. So then we can literally do more. We can bring water to like the barren places in California and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Because we've got all this energy. We have the energy to do it. It's feasible. Anyway, that'll eventually lead to a utopia where there's just such an abundance of resources that like nobody has to work anymore. So people literally just work for their own benefit.
Right.
And so you just wake up every morning and just decide like what you're gonna do. There's gonna be like big, obviously like travel will be like so fast. You'll go to any part of the world, pretty much, and you'll just go in and learn about things, and then try to innovate in that area, whatever excites you. You know, so there'll be like a place where like a lot of the art is, and there'll be like a place where like a lot of the music is, and then like the film and like the engineering. And then, you know, like the spacey stuff. And you'll just travel there for free and just work, just do things because we just have the energy and the means.
Okay, we're looking at this from a different perspective, though. You're looking at it all from a technological standpoint.
Yeah.
I think,
Oh, yeah, and then there'd be a small population of insane people. that like, there would be, like, psychiatrists. That, like, that's just what they want to do. So they literally go and like study these insane people and try to figure out how to get them out.
Right.
So if you have a kid that's insane, then you just send him over there.
Okay, so in that scenario then, would you say that all suffering is ended? In a world where we have no work, infinite energy, and everything like that?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so if that's your idea of a utopia, let's say someone's goal was to end all suffering. So their goal is then to study the technology and everything they need to create a utopia. Is that a good purpose?
Yeah, that's a great purpose. Yeah, if any of you want to create utopia, figure out a way to capture more of the sun's energy. Right now, solar panels are at like 27% or something like that. Which is like really low. Well, it's pretty good. We've come a long way from what it used to be. I think like 30 years ago it was like half that. But yeah, that's what we need. We need satellite solar panels orbiting.
Okay, anyways, let's move forward.
That'd be so awesome.
The whole idea is to leave the world a better place than you found it, and that's what ending all suffering would do. Is leaving the world a better place than you found it a good purpose? Because that's what a lot of people would also say that they live for, because they want to help people out, they want to, I guess, create new technology or whatever, just,
I guess, sure, yeah, why not? If it gets us closer to that utopia.
Okay, sure. Some people say their purpose is to learn everything that they can in their short time on Earth. This is the same thing as seeking happiness because learning keeps them happy? Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
What a hedonist.
Many of these points so far are actually the same as seeking happiness. But what about the technological aspect of it? Where, like, if learning as much as you can is your goal, then eventually you will create technology that produces...
Not necessarily.
You could create technology that does everything you want. You could become rich, you could leave a legacy, you could make everyone happy, all that stuff.
I mean, what if you just read history books?
Right.
You're not going to come up with anything.
Right.
You could literally read history books till you die.
Well...
And you'd never invent anything based on that.
You could do something with it, though.
Yeah, like maybe write another history book. That's about it.
Or like, if you had a governmental position or something and you studied history, then maybe.
Like what? Some sort of innovation in government?
The idea that people are like, oh, history repeats itself, and it's like, don't let history repeat itself. If someone knows... Shut up.
Blah, blah, blah.
If someone knows all that history, then they can probably stop something bad from happening, right?
No. That's
No?
not how government works. One person can't stop.
If it was the President of the United States.
If he wanted to learn a lot about history...
Yeah.
No. It's... Hindsight's 2020, historians.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're repeating what happened 200 years ago. Nobody's thinking that while it's happening.
Right.
It's only after the fact they're like, oh, man, yeah. If we did the same thing that this...
well, I think some people would think it while it's happening, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you just don't know where it's going until after you've already gone there.
Unless there are historians who do know where it's going, and they're just like, no one listens to me because I'm just a historian.
Unless they're time-traveling historians that are...
All right.
that actually do know what's going to happen.
Except time travel to the past is impossible. Some people's purpose is to conquer fear and overcome challenges for themselves, to prove to themselves or other people that they are worthy, or maybe to be accepted. Is that a good purpose?
What? No, that's just their pride talking. You're worthy of what?
Okay. You play guitar, right?
I do.
Okay. Would you say that you wanted to get better at guitar when you practiced it and learned it?
Yeah.
Okay, well that was a goal that you had. That was your purpose at the time. Why did you spend hundreds of hours playing guitar, and you've definitely spent hundreds of hours playing guitar, if you didn't have a purpose there?
I did. It was to get better, I think.
Exactly. So that's your subjective purpose, is to get better and to overcome the challenge of not being able to play a guitar.
What are you saying? How does that relate to your point?
That's exactly what I just asked. You're overcoming a challenge. Is that a good purpose? It's like
to prove you're worthy?
You're just proving to yourself that, like, look, I can play guitar now.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, what if you weren't doing it to prove someone, you're just like, I want to overcome challenges in my life, and that's what I want to do. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do all this, I want to overcome all of this.
Yeah, if it's just to fill up the time, that's fine.
But I think that's the same thing. Why would you want to do all of that unless you're trying to prove something? To yourself or other people.
So you're saying anybody trying to get better at something is trying to prove something?
Not necessarily to other people though, not like an ego thing, but just like to themselves or...
They want to impress themselves?
I mean...
They want to see what their own personal limits are?
Some people, yeah. Not all people, obviously, because it's some people's purpose, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Is that a reasonable way to live? Is that a reasonable purpose?
Well, no. Just to prove things to yourself? No way.
Why?
It's not a reasonable motivation.
What would be a reasonable motivation?
To do what? To better yourself?
To learn guitar.
To help people.
Okay. How?
With your sick riffs.
How would you help them?
Bringing joy to the world. With my sick leads.
Well, I mean, if you can only play joy to the world, you're not a very good guitarist.
Hey, that break, it's in the title, bro.
It's true.
It's in the title.
So your purpose is to make people happy, and that's why you learn guitar, and then that's the same.
I just say that would be a good idea.
Okay, so that's the same as the one that we talked about earlier, where you're trying to do good and help other people out and stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's a pretty good motivation.
So if that was the motivation, then that is a good purpose.
Yeah.
But if you're just trying to prove to yourself or other people, okay, if you're just trying to prove to yourself, it's not. And other people, it's not. Okay. As cliche as it sounds, some people think their purpose is to have power, to be better than others and rule over them, to be a king, and that's what they strive to do.
What if that is their purpose?
It's not their objective purpose.
No, but what if that makes them happy?
Right. Is that a reasonable way to live? I think we can just like shoot that one down and be like, no, right? Unless they're like Jesus and they're like perfect and they're like, my goal is to become king because I can create everything perfect.
What if they actually think that though? What if they think they are Jesus?
Well, if they think they're Jesus, then they're wrong. But if they think they're a Messiah, then maybe.
What? It's the same thing, dude.
Jesus was an
is
actual
Messiah.
person, though. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah. What if they're Jesus reincarnate?
Okay, and they think they are.
They know they are.
They know they are. Is that reasonable? Like, is that a reasonable purpose for them? Like, if they think that
if they know they're Jesus, the savior of the world, then yeah, that is reasonable. That is a reasonable purpose.
Okay, let's assume they're not, and they thought they were.
They thought they were Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. Well, I don't know. Are they gonna be a good ruler?
That's the question. Yeah, that's why we're using like Jesus as an example, or
yeah,
a
I guess
Messiah
if they
as an
lived
example.
by the teachings of Jesus
Shut up.
from the Bible, then yeah, of course they'd be a great ruler.
Okay, but in general, it's not a good motivation or a good purpose because most people are not going to be that perfect, right?
Right.
Okay. Some people think it is better to never have existed at all, and therefore their purpose doesn't matter, and they live their life in a way that they don't really care what happens.
Well, that's depressing.
It's pretty edgy.
It's so edgy, dude. That's so True Detective.
What?
Have you seen that show?
No.
Dude, you would absolutely love it.
Anyways, so...
But actually, he makes a great point. He makes a great point, Matthew McConaughey. In True Detective, he said that's like consciousness is just like an unfortunate byproduct of evolution, and the only reason we think that there is a purpose to life is because we have the ability to imagine one.
Right. Yeah. I was actually going to get into that later, but since you brought it up, yeah. That comes down to like why we create our own subjective purpose is because we have the consciousness and ability to like think that there must be a purpose. We create these unsubjective purposes, these like 10 that we just went through or whatever. We create all of them because of that reason.
Yeah, why? Nothing necessitates their needing need for there to be one.
Right. Okay, next part. Now, does life have any meaning at all without an afterlife? What about the afterlife makes regular life have meaning? You do good so you can get into heaven, and then what? What's your purpose there?
What if that is the goal?
What if that isn't?
What if that is the goal?
To get to heaven?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Once you get to heaven, what happens?
What if that's just the end goal? You're just there.
You get to heaven, and then what do you do in heaven?
What if you don't do anything? You're just there. That's what I'm saying.
Well, what if you don't do anything on Earth? You're just here. It's exactly the same as the problem.
No, when you're on Earth, you're trying to get to heaven.
Okay, you're saying our purpose is to get to heaven, and then you get to heaven and you're just there, and you no longer have a purpose because you already reached your goal. Now, let's say there wasn't an afterlife. Then on Earth, you've already reached your goal because there was no goal in the first place, and you just don't bother with anything, right?
Yeah, that's how that would go. Yeah.
Okay. There's a reason that many religions give us a purpose, such as worshipping a deity, loving one another, or whatever. It's because as humans, we don't know our purpose, and it feels good to think there is something greater giving us a purpose and direction.
Yeah, it feels great.
Yeah, it is a scary thought to think that we have no purpose and nothing matters.
I'm terrified by that idea.
Really?
Yeah. Golly, that would be horrible.
Why?
Because it means that my actions don't matter.
Right. Would you say that's a large reason why you are a believer in the Christian religion?
No, mostly just because I was raised that way.
Okay, but it's definitely a portion of it, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, your actions don't mean anything?
Right.
Then what are we even doing here?
Making a podcast, dude. Pay attention.
I know, but to what end?
There is no end.
That's what I'm saying. Your actions are just meaningless.
Right.
Oh, man. They probably are, though.
There's a Muse song about that. Thoughts of Dying Atheist. Go check it out. Muse rocks.
.com.
If you are an atheistic person, it makes sense to think that we have no actual purpose because the randomly generated events that created us are just that. They are random. They never had an intention. The universe didn't necessarily account for us becoming self-aware and making these questions up, like we said.
It doesn't account for anything.
Yeah.
It's not a conscious entity.
Exactly. The universe itself could have no purpose, right?
Yeah, it could. So by that notion, like killing yourself, just go ahead and do it.
Alright.
If you're suicidal.
If you're not suicidal, then don't go.
Yeah.
But, well, see, that brings up an interesting question. Like, why does it matter if you kill yourself if you're not suicidal?
It wouldn't. If you don't have a desire, I'm just saying if you don't have a desire to kill yourself, then,
right,
then
okay.
you might as well not do it.
Yeah, but if you do have the desire, just go through with it. Wow, we're horrible. We're telling people to kill themselves. Don't kill yourself.
I know. I'm speaking hypothetically.
Oh, okay.
Based on the hypothetical that if there is no afterlife.
Right. Your hypothetical view. This is why we have all the self-made purposes that we talked about before. Again, this is a scary thought, and it's why we make up our own purpose. Choosing religious concepts as your purpose is exactly the same as choosing to live life hedonistically or become wise or become powerful or whatever. Choosing a religion is a subjective purpose that we create. We choose a religion so we can say that we have an objective purpose, just like all the other subjective purposes, like they choose, I'm choosing to be good to other people and that's my purpose in life. You choose one of these subjective purposes, right?
Which means objective morality, correct?
What?
Yeah. If
What?
our actions don't matter. Actually, that means everything is amoral in this situation, right?
Right.
Whoa.
It's a pretty scary thought, though.
Yeah, I could just punch you right in the face.
You wouldn't. I would call the cops on you.
You wouldn't. No, you wouldn't be able to do anything.
I wouldn't?
Yeah, the cops have no moral authority over me.
I mean, I think they do because we put them in moral authority.
I didn't sign up for that.
You were born in the United States, so.
So.
You
I didn't sign any
up
documents. I didn't sign any documents.
You should leave the country then, right?
No, why? I live here.
Because by living in the country, you're stating that you agree to the laws that we put here.
That's a bad argument.
Is it?
Okay, by being in this room, you agree to give me $10,000.
No, because you didn't tell me beforehand.
Yeah, nobody told me before I was conscious that,
Okay, right now, if you said, get out of my room or give me $10,000, I would leave. Right?
Would you?
I mean, if you were serious, if you were like, you're going to jail or you're giving me $10,000 or getting out of this room, pick one of the three.
So you feel like the government's a legitimate authority?
It's not like an objective authority, but it's the authority that we have over us, and so we need to follow it, because if nothing matters, then the government, like, we created the government for a reason, you know?
I didn't sign up for anything.
Your forefathers did and stuff, though.
Not mine. I'm the child of two immigrants.
Really?
Yeah.
How immigrant? Like, how long have your...
Well, my mom was born here.
Okay.
But then she lived in Mexico till she was 8.
Mm-hmm.
Then she moved back here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's irrelevant. Really, it gets down to the difference between subjective and objective meaning of life. And religious people believe that there is an objective meaning of life, where atheistic or agnostic people believe in meanings of life that are not necessarily objective, because they're all different and there's no there's nothing telling us that we have an objective meaning of life, if there is a meaning of life at all, right?
Except for evolution.
That's true. So is evolution our whole purpose then, if there is no afterlife?
Well, yeah. Obviously, the laws of the universe would be the only thing that govern us.
Interesting.
We just have, as humans, we have the ability to work against that or for it.
But we work for it, usually.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, people have kids. I mean, we've basically sheltered ourselves from all evolution.
Have we?
Yeah, humans aren't evolving anymore. We haven't.
Well, yeah, we are.
We haven't been for several hundred years now.
I mean, two people having a kid is technically evolution. They're changing the species over time.
Nope.
Okay, we'll do an episode on evolution.
I'm sorry, man. We've sheltered ourselves. AC, this house, it's all sheltering me from my environment, which is supposed to be weeding out the weak links.
We're gonna do an episode on evolution.
Think about it. What if we let everybody with cancer die?
I understand what you're saying, and we could get into it, but it's not this episode. Okay.
Or the fat people.
I hate fat people. Just kidding, I love you. Bye, Jolly Ranchers.
Fatpeoplehate.com.
No, what was that subreddit?
That is a subreddit.
Oh,
Fat people hate.
Fat people hate. Not .com though.
Not .com. Reddit.com/r/fat people hate. Also, thank you, Reddit, for your sponsorship.
We're gonna get rid of gold. Gold, baby, gold.
That's what they're giving us.
Yeah, they don't actually give us real money. They just give us
Bitcoins.
Subscription to the lounge.
They give us orange donuts next to our comments.
Okay, is there anything else that you had on the meaning of life? Or the purpose of life, rather?
Nope, I think we covered everything and definitively closed the case on this.
Okay, the final statement I have here is there's a belief that we should not search to find the meaning of life, because if we spend our time doing that, we will never have actually lived at all. We need to recognize that we are the ones who are asking the question, and we are the ones who determine the answer for ourselves. Because there is no way to determine an objective purpose. We all subjectively choose one that we claim is our objective. Would you say that that's true?
That is exactly right, sir.
Alright, I think that's
We're all choosing our own... This is like a motivational episode, man. It's so motivational.
Make your own
Aside from the
purpose.
suicidal stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I told him not to kill himself. That's kind of
yeah,
motivation.
yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, what I'm saying is, get out there, find your purpose in life.
What is your purpose in life, Josiah?
I guess the podcast. I guess.
Okay, if there was no afterlife and no religion and stuff, and you were atheistic, what would you think your purpose is? To become a director and stuff, like you said.
Yeah, just to do whatever I want.
Hedonist.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Even though you already said that the hedonistic part was bad.
I didn't say it was bad.
You said your.
I said you got to be a smart.
Your motivation behind it is what makes it good or bad. And your motivation behind it is what? What is your motivation behind wanting to become a director?
I think it would be fun.
That's not a good motivation then, right?
Well, no. I mean, no. Wait, did we rank these motivations or what?
I think so.
What did we use to determine whether or not they're good or bad? I totally forgot.
I mean, I think we're using it like on a moral scale. Like
Oh.
if you're doing something just for yourself, then it's not like.
I mean, I guess, yeah. Although, there is the point to be made that you should do what you love, because if you don't, then you're not only cheating yourself, but the people that you work for.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I guess.
Like, if you don't really love it.
And it's a very high risk, high reward situation. It's like if there is no afterlife and no religion or something, then it's like, look, you've got one opportunity to do what you want. Like, again, it's with the selfish thing, like, who cares if you're really being selfish if, like, you've only got one opportunity to do it, right?
Well, I mean, if you really believe there's no afterlife, there'd be no consequence whether you did it or not. Only your own personal.
Right, but when you're on your deathbed, you would regret it if you didn't, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd go all for it.
Yeah. So just follow your dreams.
Yeah, follow
kids.
your dreams, everybody.
That's the motivation. That's what we're telling you in this podcast. We're motivational speakers now. Follow your dreams.
Man.
Follow your dreams 420, butt stuff 420.
Who knew this episode would be so inspiring?
Yeah, I'm inspired right now, dude. I'm gonna go home and write a song or something.
About this episode?
Not about this episode, no.
Yeah, so is that everything?
I think that's about it.
Alright, another one in the bag.
There's not like really a whole lot to talk about on that topic because it is just like, look, you make up your own. You choose your own. We have nothing that tells us there is an objective or an objective purpose, right?
Yet somehow we talked for almost an hour about this.
Well, that's because it's me and you, dude. We could talk about that freaking Guy Fawkes mask right there for an hour.
Oh, you mean Guy?
Is that not what I said?
Yep. So yeah, check out our Facebook.
Facebook.com/TCOpodcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. You can also, if you like movies, you can check out my channel. YouTube.com/Josiah Sandu.
Or 373 Save Them Backwards.
Yeah. SAVETHEMBACKWARDS. Maybe I'll put a link for my channel in the description.
If you can add me on Facebook if you want to.
Yeah, Jacob Cloudfilter at Facebook.com.
It's not
/Facebook.com.
If you wanna comment, you can comment below. If you have any good topic ideas, you can put them below.
What are we gonna talk about next week, Jake?
You already decided the topic, didn't you?
I did. It's my week to decide.
What was your topic?
We are going to talk all about art.
What is that?
It's a Mr. Picture.
Oh, what is that?
But somebody drew this. Art is all around us.
That's true.
Wow.
Art.
It's so deep. Okay, that's everything I think, right?
Hang on. I'm gonna plug myself one more time. If you like video games and Magic the Gathering, you can watch me stream live on twitch.tv/NurionLindale. That's NEURIONLINDALE.
Links in the description.
Links in the description, yeah. I think that's everything.
Okay, cool. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Just fall over.
That's the plan. Push me.
No! You're gonna crack the chair.
No.
I'm gonna shut this down.